Eric Parker this morning on CT'22. Will they or won't they? UConn fans hoping the football team ends the year headed to a bowl game. WFSB's sports director Joe Zone joins me to talk about those possibilities. Also this morning, the man who's made Connecticut home base for so many of the Christmas movies you see on TV this time of year, Synthetic Cinema's Andrew Gernhardt is stopping by Studio A. And last year, the BBC called it one of the 18 must-see Christmas trees in the entire world. Today, we're visiting with the woman behind Stonington's Lobster Trap Tree. It just opened up for the holidays. It's all ahead this final Sunday of November. CT'22 starts right now.
From WFSB, this is CT'22 with Eric Parker.
Good morning and thanks for joining us this Thanksgiving weekend. The season started filled with hope. A new coach, players hungry to turn things around. The UConn football team showed it had the grit needed to win and ended up with a record of 6-6, which certainly surprised a lot of people. The question now is that going to be good enough to get them an invitation to a bowl game? Here to talk about those prospects is Channel 3 sports director Joe Zone. It's one of those things, we say it all the time in sports, Joe. If at the beginning of the year you had said you're going to wind up 6-6, UConn fans would have been lining up at the rent to sign up for that, and yet we want more.
They would have lined up and have already bought bowl tickets, season tickets for next year. There's no question about it. Look, when the season started, they were predicted as one of the worst football teams in America. Not just one or two publications, but three. The potential to win 2 games plus, 2.5 games. They won 6. So that tells me if Jim Mora is not the coach of the year, somebody has to make a case for who did a better job coaching their team than he did.
There were so many people, I agree with you on that 100%, but there were so many people with the independent, no conference, the losing seasons, who were just saying, hang it up. It doesn't make sense. This is a basketball state. Forget about football. I think Jim Mora really has made a statement that those people were wrong.
Well, let's put it this way. Here's the quote from Gino Auriemma. If Jim Mora can't do it, it can't be done here. Let's drop back down. And I think that was, and a lot of us have felt that way. I was someone who has said, maybe we should drop it down because it can't be done here. I mean, Randy Edsall did it when it could be done. Jim Mora's come in and turned the entire football program around with young people, without people he didn't even know were going. Freshmen. These are people who are supposed to not be playing but only practicing. They're maybe getting redshirt seasons, meaning they could not play this year. He had to use a lot of freshmen this year, including the local kid.
Yeah, a lot of kids who were just coming off of a Thanksgiving Day high school game last year, and now they're wondering about the bowl. So let's talk about it.
Yeah,
there's a lot of numbers you can look at, but to you, the big number is 15.
That's right, because there are 41 bowl games. 31 of them have automatic bowl or automatic conference tie-ins, so they're out of the picture. That leaves 10, and half of those even have a conference. So there's basically 15 spots right now for independents like UConn. Now, Notre Dame and BYU happen to be those independents. We know they're going to get spots. So maybe there's 9 other teams they have to compete against right now. It didn't help that they lost against Army. Army, by the way, is one of those teams. If they win their last 2, they would have 6 wins, and they would be right there with UConn as a team that we could be looking at.
How much do you think that Army loss hurt? Because it's a team, they're tricky. They do things different than a lot of other schools. They're hard to prepare for. We've seen them kind of, even on years where they were down, which really this was a down year for Army, they sneak up on people as they did to UConn. But UConn didn't just lose. They looked bad.
Well, but remember, as bad as you think they may have looked, they led in the 3rd quarter. They went down the field, had a long drive, and then Army hits that big play. I think it was 84 yards, 80 yards, and the whole game turned from there. So I'm not sure. I still think the bowl committee will look at the numbers, not the people picking, and they'll also, I think Jim Mora gives them an edge. An NFL coach who's coached big-time football, who's got a legacy and a history about him. I think he helps them when it comes time to decide who goes to a bowl game.
I know a lot of people who have, if you're on the list, if you've bought UConn tickets, as I have, you got an email last week, or maybe it was the week before, I guess it was last week, saying, hey, we want you to sign up to say you'll come to a bowl game if we have one. We want to show we're going to travel. How important is that?
Well, what I think our viewers need to know is when you're invited to a bowl game, you have to buy a certain amount of tickets. And UConn wants to sell those tickets because they're a program right now, an athletic department that can't afford to lose any more money on things like ticket sales. So I think, personally, if I'm UConn, I say bite the bullet this year. If you don't sell the tickets, give them away to somebody, but go to the bowl game, get your name out there. Now, would I love to see them sell the tickets? Yes. Would I love to see several thousand UConn fans in Mobile or wherever it's going to be? Yes. But I think at this point, UConn has to say, we're going no matter what. The thing is, the bowl committee also likes to see people in the seats. Don't just buy the tickets. We want to know that your people are coming into town. They're going to spend money. They're going to go to hotels and things like that. I think that's another thing they're going to have to think about.
And that's going to be a reflection on UConn and maybe even future invites.
Correct. Now, you win 7, 8, 9 games, that's a different story. But independents have it harder because they don't have the guarantees. And remember, our fans, our UConn football fans, aren't used. It's been a long time since they've been to a bowl game.
Now, let's talk about, obviously, the bowl is something we're going to be watching. And December 4th is when the announcements are going to come out.
That's after the conferences are decided, the conference tournaments are decided, championships.
But no matter what happens, and I know a lot of UConn football players, fans, a lot of people around the university will be sorely disappointed if they don't get the bowl bid. But, boy, they have to be happy about what lies ahead. A lot of young players doing good things over there.
I think there's no question that this is the time where you can really say, I can't wait till next year. Everybody always talks about next year. This is a time where I think we can really look forward to next year. Young players, some of the kids who were hurt, who didn't make it, are going to come in. And then now that thing called the transfer portal, where there might be a quarterback or a lineman or a running back who's not starting at a big school, can come in and say, look, I can win 7, 8 games, go to a bowl game, and go to a good school. And I think that's going to be a huge thing for them. So, and Moore will now get a year to have some time, catch his breath, and put his system in place. Of course, you know what we're hearing about already. Of course. How long, where's the next job for Jim Moore? Right away, as soon as a big-time coach has success turning around a program like this. My hope is he's 60. He's been there, done that. Maybe this is a comfortable place. Maybe he doesn't grab for the next brass ring. That's my hope. I have no idea. But I guarantee you, people are looking at what he did and say, can he do that for us? Well, Randy Edsall didn't get on the plane back from the bowl last time, as you'll recall. Hopefully that doesn't happen this time. Right now, we're just worried about the plane to the bowl. Let's hope there is one. You'll be following it, of course. Joe Zone, thanks for being with us. If they go, we go. Sounds good. You'll go. We'll be checking in with you then. Okay.